Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Critical and welcome back to episode 21 of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. We are here in the end after our 22 dragon fight from last episode, and we're going to head off to one of these side areas. So I've been doing a lot of work off camera to kind of get the area prepped over here, and then I was trying to get the scale figured out. So I've actually already built part of our entrance building for the gaming district. So I wanted to show you guys as we kind of go through the portal so you can get the full effect of like how big this thing is going to be. So this is based off of a Lego set, actually. I'm trying to like model the building after it, kind of. I'll put a picture of it on the screen now. But, because I think it's a really cool idea. I think rebuilding this is going to be really fun. But if we head through here, you can see this is the start. Oops, I did not mean to throw that. Let's get that off the hand. You can see this thing is massive, and if you see the picture I just would have put in the video a minute ago, you'll know this thing is about 3 times this tall and about twice as wide. It's got a long way to go. This is probably going to be the coolest thing that I've built on the server, honestly. Like, I'm really excited to have this thing built. Now, I went ahead and built all of this entrance stuff off camera because I wanted to kind of get the scaling down, and I rebuilt these things a few times, and I think this is kind of the sizing that I've worked on, which is basically a 1:2 scale for the actual thing. But, so check this out. On the front entrance, we've got this giant staircase that's going to be leading up into the building. I gotta avoid the Enderman as I'm doing this. This is going to be a little difficult. Big staircase leading up to the top. I have elevated the entire build by 1 block because we're going to do some grass and stuff here. I think what we're going to do is lime and normal green terracotta in like strips to make like a mowed lawn look. That's kind of the plan for the area. But got this huge staircase going up, got these little like kind of pillar things that were on the side of the build, and then there's these huge bombs, so this is like a JOKERLAND build. We're not going to have it say the Joker or anything like that. It's probably going to say something to do with the area or the server name or something. But everything else is pretty much identical. So we've got this giant bomb with like the kind of the fuse being lit and kind of sparking off. We got some little sparks flying off in different directions. And then over here in the front, I've put in the first kind of archway. So there's all these different colorful archways that go back, and this is the first one. And so what I did was I used purple, and I've got it kind of going back and forth between pillars and blocks to kind of give it like a cooler looking texture. It just looked better than doing it all out of this did. So I think that looks pretty cool, especially when you're down here. You get like this kind of striped look. But that is what I'm working on at the moment. The next section is going to be done out of prismarine, and I don't quite have enough, I don't think, so I'm going to have to go farm for some more of that. But yeah, this is taking quite a while, because this is actually, I don't have it included here, but there was a giant hill here with an in-city sitting on top, and I had to get rid of all of that. And I've actually not even cleared enough terrain yet. I need to clear a little bit more of this hill over here near this forest. So I still have quite a bit of work to do. But our goals for today are to try to get the front facade of like the entrance built. So all the different colors, hopefully, and then like the front of the building leading up to like the roof. There's a big structure sitting on the roof. I just want to get up to the roof, hopefully. But that is a big task, so we're going to be doing this for quite a while. But I think I've rambled on enough. I hope you guys are excited about this. I'm going to go gather some resources, but in the meantime, I'm going to include a couple other clips of some other things that we need to get done on the server that we've been neglecting for a while. So I'm going to be working on this. You guys check that out, and then I'll see you all in a bit. Alright, so we're over here at the gold farm, next to our lovely little creeper farm that we built last episode, or the episode before last, actually. And I'm over here because I want to enchant some books, and as you can see here, I've already got a few. I just threw a few together, and I traded with some villagers earlier. But basically, I want to try and get a decent amount of books to fill up the shop over at the harbor with at least enough books to make it functional. There's a little bit over there right now, but not enough to, make it worth going to at the moment. So I think what I'm going to do for a bit is I'm going to AFK, try to get some XP. I got to go grab my lapis. I think I actually left it in the end. And then we will go fill up the shopping district building with all of these enchanted books. And hopefully we can start making some sales here pretty soon. Okay, so I have enchanted some books. I didn't get to enchant the full amount that I wanted to, but we at least have a decent amount that we can get thrown over here. So let's head over to the shop. I'm finally starting to use ender pearls because I just have so many of them from hanging out in the end. But if we head in here, if you haven't seen this, this is kind of what I want to do this episode because it's been quite a while since I've shown this off. This is something that I built in the first few episodes on the YouTube side of things of this. Just a little library. One of my favorite builds that I've done on the server. But there's basically just all these different chests with or that are supposed to have enchanted books in them. And you can see there are actually quite a few that do have them in here. But for the most part, this place is empty. So I'm going to go through and fill all of this up. But I thought I'd bring you guys here because I don't know that everyone's actually seen this. And just so you kind of know how this works, if you haven't seen it, let's go back to the beginning. It says, welcome to Critical's Enchanted Bookstore. This book contains the prices for each level of each enchantment. The books are priced based on the top enchantment for each book. So for example, if the book is Efficiency 3 and Breaking 1, you only pay for Efficiency 3. So yeah, when we get things like this, where it's got all of these, I'm only charging for Smite 3, just to make life easier on both myself and whoever's paying. But I went through and I did like this whole like book, almost like a, I don't know, like a, something you'd see in like Destiny or something, where there's like all these different like power levels and stuff listed. I don't know. I tried to make it as fun as I could to kind of stick with like the fantasy theme that we had going on here. Hello. But yeah, so I'm gonna fill this guy up, and then we will see how much we're able to fill, and then we're gonna head off and do something else as well. Okay, guys. So I was able to fill up most of these chests with at least one book. I definitely have a lot more to do here, though, even with all of those books. There's, of course, like 42 different enchants in the game at this point, so most of these are still pretty empty. I think the most full one is probably Feather Falling. I have a ton of those. Death Strider has quite a bit. So there's some in here that are pretty full, but I definitely need to keep trying to fill this guy up. Actually, this whole back area is not too bad, actually. It's mostly the front that's got some stuff missing. And some of the more obscure ones, there's only a couple of. But the second thing that we're going to run off and do, which unfortunately I do not have any rockets, so we're going to have to run there real quick. Trent has been trying to get a backup elytra and some shulker shells from the end recently. And as you well know, without already having an elytra, reobtaining an elytra is pretty difficult and time consuming, especially when most of the end cities around the spawn area have already been taken out. So I've got a little box here of, I'll show you guys what's in it in a second. I've got a little care package type thing here that we're going to go leave over at his and Austin's base. And I'm actually realizing I don't think I have a sign. I don't. Let me see. There's probably one I can steal from the last thing that I left here. But we're going to leave a little care package over here just as kind of some spare backup stuff, kind of. Let's see. I left this here last time, and this is from months ago. So I'm going to take this up. And I don't know where the best place to put this is. So I think I'm going to put it up in the bedroom up here. I think that's probably the place that's most likely to be seen. Yeah, it's nothing too crazy, and I have a bunch of spare of a lot of this stuff. I think I have like 4 backup elytras and like 2 stacks of shulker shells, so I have no problem leaving a little bit of stuff here. But let's see, what do we want to write here? Free things. No, let's do to Trent. Oh, wait, you gotta do this here. To Trent from, and then we're gonna say Prime Industries. And I kind of want to leave... There's no ender chest here. Let me run up to the top real quick. I kind of want to leave a... you know my little maps that I have of my... like Prime Industries banner thing that I left? I want to leave one of those here as like a tag. So let's see. Let's get one of those. And I think they're in here. Let's see. Yeah, I think I only have one copy of each, so I'm going to have to make some more. Yeah, I got to make some backups. But we got that, and then we should have a couple of item frames. Yes, perfect. So let's head back down real quick. And then once we leave this here, we're going to head back over to the end, and I've gotten a bit more work done there, so we can check out what we're doing and kind of talk about some of the plans of what we're going to be putting in that entrance building. Where did I leave paper? I put a bunch of paper here, so I'm just going to take some of this, and let's make a couple of empty maps and make some copies here. There we go. I somehow ended up with one extra paper there. That's fine. Alright, so let's head back down, and we will leave our little tag here as well. And then this is what we've put in the chest. So we've got, I think, 16 shulker shells here, which is enough for 8 shulker boxes, a single netherite ingot, and some elytras. Just kind of some starting stuff to make it easier to get more of that stuff. Because obviously, once you have one, it's pretty easy to fly out and go get some more. But yeah, so that is good to go for there. So let's head back over into the end and check out what we've done there so far. Okay, so we're back over here in the gaming district after all of that, and I've gotten the next 3 rings in. Check this out. So we've got the little prismarine one that kind of bubbles up around. It sticks all the way up to here. Actually, the best view, I think, of this thing is from over here, because you can see the side of the bomb, and you can see basically everything from here. Yeah, this is a cool angle. So it's got kind of this wavy thing that goes up here, and then there's another one behind it, slightly larger, that has like prismarine bricks instead of prismarine. These are all pretty much finished, except for I need a few... Dang it. I need a few more prismarine bricks on the back side here to finish filling that space in up there. I think he gave up on me. Let's finish filling in that space up there. I thought my audio was low. Then there's these gold spikes. So these gold spikes are mounted to a giant kind of semicircle that's going to sit back here that has like a gold outline. And then we're going to be using dark prismarine on the inside, but I have to gather all the dark prismarine, and that's going to take quite a while. And then behind that, there's kind of a gigantic... I wouldn't say it goes out that far, probably closer to about here. Kind of bubbly shape that goes up and comes all the way down. I looked at more of them. Oh my goodness, it's like fighting a war every time I want to build something. Back off. It's a real problem, because if I look up, I have to make sure I don't look at any of them as I glance around. I have about, I think, half the emeralds that I'm going to need. But I still have definitely a ways to go. And I think what we're going to do, since that's going to be just a lot of resource gathering, is we're going to move on to building the actual building. Now, in the model that I'm basing this off of, the building actually has no backside. It's kind of one of those, like, you know, it's like a play set, right? So the front's kind of the facade, and then there's like all the little rooms. It's like a dollhouse. You can look at all the rooms at the backside. So I don't have like anything for the back, and additionally, the middle front section that we're going to be focusing on for the rest of today's episode actually doesn't exist, because that green wall sits in front of it. So there's no... you're supposed to just like assume that it's there, but it's not. Like if you actually look, there's nothing there to base this off of. So a lot of this is just going to be kind of my own designs, but this part's basically going to stick up to about there. Probably 10 to 15 blocks above the purple that sits up there. And then this whole building, once we get this in, is going to be filled with all sorts of little kind of I'm thinking like mostly single player mini games, just kind of like fun stuff you can come and screw around with and do, kind of smaller games and stuff to fill this area. But I'm pretty excited about it. So I think what I need to do now is gather a ton of stone and stone brick. I have quite a bit already, but I want to make sure that I have enough of this stuff because we're using a lot of that too. And I'm going to start trying to get this figured out. Now, I think we're going to do some of this on camera, but I need to fill in a section of this within stone and figure out what we're going to do for this wall. Because again, it doesn't exist, so I've got to kind of come up with some stuff. But I'm going to figure that out, get the rest of this stone smelted up so we can start working on that. And then we will come back and start building on this a little bit. All right, so I have done a bit more work here. I was going to do some sort of cool designs on the wall and stuff, or maybe some statues and stuff here, because there's a statue. There's 3 stories, and the top story is the only one that actually exists on the model. So the third one up actually has a statue on it, but the other 2 don't have anything. I thought about it, and then I remembered that there's a giant punch glove that kind of sticks out the top just above all of the kind of rings that come back here. And it sticks out the top, and I was like, it'd be really cool if we had like an actual mechanism here that like sprang up and was like showing where the punch glove kind of came from. So I think for now I'm actually going to leave all of this blank and eventually do something like that and have that connected down here somewhere. But what we can do is we can go ahead and build the door. Now again, there's no door. It's kind of just open. So I'm kind of just building my own thing here. And I wanted to try something that I used in a build before. Let me actually pull it up real quick so I can see what I'm doing. This is from a completely different style build, but it's one of the coolest big doors that I think I've built. And I just wanted to see how it looks here. Now, I've never built it out of these colors, but I'm going to try doing... I want some red in here, so I'm going to try this red nether brick, and then I'm going to try seeing how it mixes with the black stone. Just to try and get an idea of how this will look. So we're going to do that. I think next episode we're going to have to take a step back to the overworld and build a couple of farms, because there's some things that I've been neglecting to build for a long time that I think it's become quite apparent I'm going to need now if I want to get these other 2 rings done. And that is a squid farm and a raid farm. I need a ton of ink, and I'm going to just have to do a squid farm for it, because when I say a ton of ink, I'm talking like... I can't even calculate how much I'm going to need. It's a ton, though, for this giant semicircle that's here. And then for all the emeralds, Austin and Trent's setup is really good for getting a lot of emeralds, but I need like a chest of emerald blocks, basically. And I could, I need to get up there now. Hold on, how am I going to do this? Let's go there. I could spend like hours and hours and hours farming and trading with villagers, but I think it's just easier to set up a raid farm at this point for how much I need. Specifically because it's less about like the villagers not being efficient and more about like I have to sit there and actually be the one interacting with all the villagers, and it's super tedious to like go through and wait for them to have to be able to trade again and go through all of that mess. So I think I'm just going to set that up, and I'll probably try to set it up near the near where the villagers are set up, just so that it's like easily accessible to everyone and not like super far out of the way. And I think there's already a pillager tower there, so that should work out pretty well. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan for next episode. Hopefully we can get that going. But I think we're almost done here. I just need to put the last little bit of stairs here. The stair, or the slab there, and a slab. Is it there? Yeah. Okay, let's take a step back, see how this looks. I like it. It doesn't look like a door. Which is kind of a problem. This is supposed to be like open, so you can walk through there. It actually looks more like a door with that little hole there. I don't know. I like it. Again, there's not really a door here, so I'm not sure what to do with this part. It does stick a little bit above what we're doing here, so I think I'm going to make like an arch type thing here to accommodate that. Because again, this section doesn't exist until you get way above this, so I can do whatever I want here. I actually kind of like this. I think if I put like... This doesn't make any sense, and I'm aware of that, but if I put like a gear over here, thank you for walking in front of me and then getting mad about it. If I put like a big gear on that side and a big gear on this side, that would probably... You're killing me, literally. Where'd you go? He died. Okay. That would honestly probably look really cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. So my kind of thought with this now is, rather than this being a door that like swings up, I looked at him through the door gap. I hate it. Rather than this being like a door that swings open like a normal door, I think the door will instead, like, obviously it won't literally do this, but it like raises up, right? So we could design like a whole thing that looks like there's a slot for it to go into up there. And we'll put two, if we go out here, we can see. We can put, we could put two big gears here on the inside, kind of attached to these walls, or looking like they're embedded in the walls, that will turn these gears, which rotate these pillars that are going across, which when those turn, it lifts the door up to the top. Which actually, if there were gears in this game, that would 100% work. If this thing had teeth that could go into the thing, the gear would turn, which would turn this, which would turn this, and then it would lift the door up like so. So I think that's kind of the design. I may put some stairs in the door, actually. Hold on. I know this is a very on-camera episode. Let me get some stairs. I'll make a little bit more of this. I may put some, like, teeth in the door so that you can kind of see where this would go up. So if I go right here, I assumed this would probably be lower. So, like, if we were here, we got, like, here, and then, like, here. Oops. And then that would put the next one there. You can say, like, here. And here. Does this look weird? Kind of, but I like it. And then on this side, you'd have, like, this instead. And I could honestly do them every single one. I just don't know how that would look, having, like, 2 rows. Dang it, I keep falling. Having, like, 2 rows of stairs going, I don't know how that would look. So you'd need one here. You actually wouldn't need one there, because that would be the same. And then down here, you'd need there, there, there. And you wouldn't need them at the very top, because the thing doesn't actually go across that portion of the thing, if that makes sense. Like, the teeth don't actually have to deal with that section up there, so it's not a problem. Yeah, I think this looks pretty cool. This is wrong. That should be like that. And we need one more to go on the bottom of this if we're really committing to this. Let's see. I think that looks cool. I think it looks like it like grabs the door and pulls it up into the upper area that we're gonna have. I really, really like that. It may be weird, but that's kind of the goal with this whole build, right? It's just like random wacky things. So I think that's super cool, and I think that's what we're gonna stick with for the door. That I think is gonna be it for like little progress updates and stuff. I'm gonna get hopefully all of this stuff built up to like up here, or at least I'm going to try to, and then we'll do one last cutback this episode and go over what I've done at that point once I get all these walls up and everything hopefully I can get it looking pretty cool. So I'm going to go do that, and then I will see you guys once we got this front part done. Alright, so let's take a look at the back section of the entrance of this build. This has taken quite a while, especially to gather the resources and stuff for this, but big reveal, here we go. Boom. Yeah, so this thing is absolutely incredibly big. It's absurd, and you gotta think this is probably half the height of the thing, and maybe like probably a fourth the width, to kind of put it into scale of how big this thing is going to be. I'm really happy with this. Something about, like, it's not very detailed. Like, if you look at each individual part, there's not a whole lot of detail in, like, the walls and stuff, but the detail is in, like, the scale. Like, it's very simple, large sections, but it's so massive that it kind of just works, you know? I don't know what it is about it. I did put some of the emerald in, just a bit. I had enough to get these two wings done. Unfortunately, I did notice a moment ago, I've put them one too far back. This is actually supposed to sit right here along this, I believe. I need to double check my numbers on all of this because I think something's wrong here. I don't know what, but I got to figure out what's wrong. So I think I'm going to have to move one of these two, but we shall see. As for the door, I added in some extra little gears on the side here. I tried to add like some like bits in the wall and some scratches, but I don't really like it. I think it's too much detail. None of the rest of the build is that detailed, so adding all of that is kind of a bit much. So I think I'm going to get rid of that and put it back to the stone brick. If we head through here though, and kind of get an idea of like how big this is from back here, it's huge. Like, you don't really notice. I mean, it's huge from the front too, but like you don't get a scale of just like how much space we're going to have in here. Because I don't think there's any reason that we need to follow like only having 3 stories in here. I think we could do like one big one in the middle and then one up top and then like a bunch on the sides and stuff. I don't know. I feel like we can have like a lot of fun with designing the interior. But unfortunately, that is going to have to do it for this episode. I don't have time to record more. I gotta go gather some more materials and get this thing edited. But hopefully next episode we can go into the overworld and make those farms. So we're again gonna try to build an emerald farm and an ink farm. Hopefully the issue with mobs not spawning in bubble streams got fixed, because in other words we're gonna have a tough time getting some what are you in? Oh, he's in a hole. We're going to have a tough time getting ink for the dark prismarine kind of dome that goes here. Or, not dome, but semicircle that goes here. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. I really hope that you've all enjoyed. I'm having a lot of fun with this project. I've never really done anything like this quite to this scale. So I'm having a lot of fun going at this. But hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.